U-Haul is an American moving equipment and storage rental company that opened in 1945. I just wanted to say thank you for your suggestion.
Came to this U-Haul Center to rent a paint sprayer. I can paint the house and still go fishing.
I didn't know U-Haul rented lawnmowers, tillers, cement mixers.
Now U-Haul Centers rent almost everything for home,
Floor care,
work,
plumbing,
and play.
VCRs and movies.
Now U-Haul even rents motorhomes, camping trailers, and boats. Perfect for my fishing trip.
Honey, after you finish painting, let's go catch some big ones.
Thanks, U-Haul.
Rent it all at U-Haul.
In 1945, Leonard Sam Schoen co-founded U-Haul with his wife Anna Mary Carty. Recently discharged from the Navy in the summer of 1945, 29-year-old Sam and Anna Mary tried to rent a utility trailer to move their possessions from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon. It turned out that it couldn't be done. Small luggage-type passenger automobile trailers were being rented from rental lots in Los Angeles. Each lot had from 20 to 40 trailers, which were rented locally for approximately $2 per day. Sam recognized that here was an item with considerable utility value, which had not been exploited at all in the Northwest or in the San Francisco-Oakland area. He was intrigued with the business potential of this idea, especially from the standpoint of one-way rentals. The Schoens reasoned that many other families had a need similar to theirs, the short-term availability of a trailer that could be rented here and left there. No one at the time seemed ready or willing to serve that need. So with a 1937 Ford and $5,000 in savings, Sam and Anna Mary and their young son moved from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon. During the drive, they came up with the name and formulated the outline of what would become the U-Haul trailer rental system. The Schoens launched U-Haul in the summer of 1945. The first trailers were bought from welding shops or second-hand from private owners. Within 2 weeks of leaving Los Angeles, the first U-Haul trailer was parked on the service station lot and being offered for rent. By the end of 1945, there were 30 4-foot by 7-foot open trailers. An identity was established. First, the trailers were painted bright orange. Secondly, the name U-Haul Company was established, and trailers were imaged on the sides and back with the sales message, U-Haul Company, rental trailers, $2 per day, always advertising themselves whether on the road or on display. Lastly, trailer rentals were merchandised from service station outlets. A commission structure for dealers was established, and much of the early recruitment was done by a customer who was offered a discount on their trailer rental for establishing a U-Haul rental agent, now called U-Haul dealers, at their destination. The company was not an overnight success. The purchased trailers, generally a frame and tongue built on running gear of scrapped automobiles, what Sam would later call junkers, broke down with painful frequency. It often cost more to repair than could be covered by rental fees. The Schoens persevered, and by the end of 1949, it was possible to rent a trailer one way from city to city throughout most of the United States, and by 1955 throughout most of Canada. And that same year, there were more than 10,000 U-Haul trailers on the road, and the brand was nationally known. In 1952, a unique financing plan, the Fleet Owner Program, was created to provide capital for growth during the 1950s. Under this plan, individuals or groups of individuals could purchase a fleet of 30 or more U-Haul trailers. The trailer owner would then contract with Arcoa for the operation of their trailer fleet in the U-Haul trailer rental system and shared the income from the rental of the trailers. By the end of 1959, the U-Haul trailer fleet consisted of 42,600 trailers. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, Sam Schoen built a business empire of trailer dealerships that had automobile service stations as their main outlets. traveling by car for weeks at a time, he recruited new dealers for his U-Haul trailers and used the toolbox he carried to patch and repair his company's rolling stock, often by the light of street lamps late at night. He also rented trailers to people who would travel to cities he could not visit, provided that they returned these trailers to service stations he thought were potential U-Haul dealers. On a personal note, the couple had 6 children by the time Anne Mary Schoen died in 1957, and Sam Schoen would eventually have a total of 12 children with 3 wives. Schoen stressed economy in all areas, mandating that his executives eat at fast food restaurants and stay at cheap hotels on company business trips. Because he planned to hand over his business empire to his children, they were fully instructed in running the company, including painting and repairing the U-Haul fleet. As they grew up, his first 4 sons joked that they had orange U-Haul paint in their veins rather than blood. In the 1960s, U-Haul was the preeminent do-it-yourself trailer rental company in the United States and Canada. In 1967, at the height of the company's success, Schoen moved his corporate headquarters to Phoenix, Arizona. 4 years later, in 1971, Schoen incorporated Americo in Reno, Nevada as the holding company for what he hoped would become a diversified corporation. Over the years, Schoen gave his children progressively greater shares of the company in preparation for eventually handing it over to their control, so that by the early 1980s, his 7 sons and 5 daughters owned 95% of the outstanding shares of the company, while he controlled only 2%. Relations between Schoen and his 4 eldest sons, Sam, Mike, Edward, and Mark, began to deteriorate in the mid-1970s when the 4 siblings had moved into the upper management of the company. The sons believed that the investment in the 1,100 U-Haul Center stores, which offered a wide variety of rental items, was not benefiting U-Haul. They argued that the stores detracted from the servicing and maintenance of the U-Haul's aging fleet of trucks and trailers, which was put in greater jeopardy with the growth of rival Ryder systems. By 1979, Joe and Mark Schoen had resigned from U-Haul because of their dispute over the direction of the company, and a year later, Mark's relationship with his father and brother Sam deteriorated still further when they refused to help him out with some financial predicament by buying some of his Americo stock. Mark and Joe Schoen set out to wrest control of the company from their father and brother Sam. By 1986, Joe and Mark Schoen had drummed up enough support among their brothers and sisters to oust the father as their chairman of the corporation. The brothers moved quickly after assuming control of the company to return it to its basic businesses. They kept U-Haul's rental storage facilities, but eliminated many of the company's extraneous rental offerings, focusing on trucks and trailers, boxes, moving pads, and packaging materials as featured items at the company's U-Haul centers. In addition, they cut back on the company's workforce, purging executives who supported their father and their brother Sam. In March of 1989, the company's annual meeting allegedly turned into a brawl when his father and his son Mike attempted to set up a tape recorder to record the proceedings. After the meeting, Mike Schoen posed shirtless for a photographer and alleged that his brother Mark had hit him. To add to the family drama, on August 6, 1990, Eva Schoen, the 44-year-old wife of Sam Schoen, was murdered. The homicide, which news reports claim had signs of a professional hit, remains under investigation. In 1999, founder 83-year-old Leonard Sam Schoen suffered fatal injuries when he crashed into a telephone pole near his Las Vegas, Nevada home. Americo filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in June of 2003 and emerged in March of 2004. The filing did not include or affect U-Haul's operations. In 2012, another moving and storage company, Pods, sued U-Haul in U.S. District Court for trademark infringement, claiming that U-Haul improperly and unlawfully used the word Pods to describe its U-Box product. On September 25, 2014, a jury ruled that U-Haul had infringed on Pods' trademarks, causing confusion and damaging business for Pods. The jury awarded Pods $62 million in damages. So what are some of your favorite memories of this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. Be sure to hit that like button. Thanks for watching.